We're at ZabiWorks. I'm the COO here, and we wanted to start this little series where we invite experts in the retention space to tell us a little bit more about different trends and different topics when it comes to specifically retention marketing. Today we're here with John. John is one of the highest experts in the space. John, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, Francesco. As you mentioned, my name is John Fox. I've been doing this for the better part of 20 years, working in email and retention channels specifically. I've been on the brand side, the agency side, the software side. So I guess you could say I've seen it from all angles.
Amazing. Thank you for being here, John. John, I'm going to jump right into it. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about click rates. Obviously, as we know, it's a very important metric in the space. I have 3 questions for you, and let's dive into it. What do you say?
Sounds good to me, sir. Fire when ready.
Amazing. So starting pretty simple. Tell us what click rates are, and most importantly, why they're so important for businesses.
It's a great question. At a high level, click rates, just a simple calculation of number of clicks divided by total number of emails sent. It's a great way for email marketers to get a finger on the pulse of how engaging and interactive their emails are. Please remember that those clicks turn into site visitations, so they are very important. We want to keep those click rates as high as possible.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely a super important metric. Track people engagement for a business. It's always super important, whether they're existing customers or prospects. It's always great for a business to have a pulse on that.
Absolutely. And throughout my time, I've seen just a huge amount of disparity between click rates. There was a time when click rates, if you weren't hitting 10%, you weren't doing your job. Now I think we've normalized into the more of the 1, 2, 3, 4% range. But very interesting how the industry has moved in reaction to the way that people interact and engage with emails.
Following up, what are strategies that a retention specialist or a business can adopt to improve their click rates? What can they do to improve it?
That's a great question. And I really wish I had a one-size-fits-all answer for you. But as you know, brands are different, customers are different, segments are different. So what I can do is give you a handful of different tips and tricks that I've leaned on in the past that have helped improve click rates. First and foremost, I'm just going to start off with just brevity. Short and concise emails. I've heard people call them postcard type emails. Sometimes they're just hero and a clear CTA. Francesco, I think you call them snippet emails, but just anything that's really short and sweet and has a very direct action related to it tends to spike click rates in the positive direction. So a couple other things we could lean on. I'm going to talk specifically around copy and the way that we frame that CTA. I don't think it's too far out of left field to say a lot of brands get in the habit of just using a shop now or buy now button. What really tends to work well and what tends to get those click rates really jumping off the page is to speak more to the benefits. Instead of saying buy now, talk about start losing weight now. Talk about start your hydration journey today. Something that's a little more benefit focused and a little more personable tends to lead to users wanting to learn more. Another thing that's kind of tangential, but also kind of similar, I've seen a lot of people use emails as long form landing pages. Emails are not landing pages. What they really are just short informational bursts. And what we're trying to do is grab and pique interest, lead with a headline or two that's really sexy and jumps off the page, and change that CTA to click here to learn more, or find out more below. These sorts of actions really give the user an opportunity to dive into their interest and wind up back on site.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I couldn't agree more. I feel like a lot of people lose sight of the offer, and I feel like the offer should always be at the very center of every email message. Sometimes I see email messages that become way too salesy with the shop now, with the do it now. But let's remember, keeping the offer there, keeping the benefit of the people that we're trying to convert, at the end of the day, but we need to show them their benefit in converting. Last but not least, I have one question that you should be very well versed with. It has to do with strategists. How do we truly analyze click rates? What information can we get out of it, and what can we do with this information to like improve our click rates?
It's another great question, Francesco. Let me start by saying that not all click rates are equal. I know if you're using one of the popular ESPs, you're probably very familiar with what they call a click rate. And this click rate is just number of clicks divided by number of sends. This is a number that varies anywhere between 1% to 5% if you're really successful. One thing that I've found extremely useful as an email marketer is modifying this calculation ever so slightly and using a click to open rate ratio instead. In this case, instead of dividing by the number of deliveries, I divide by the number of opens. And what this really means is it's a way to gauge and kind of measure the efficiency I have within an email. If I can get somebody to open it, I know that there's eyes on it. How effective am I at making that next action happen, which is the click? I also want to kind of take a tangent here and mention that site visitation is key. At the end of the day, this is where the revenue comes from. This is where the magic happens. So when we keep click rate very top of mind, we are focused laserly on what matters most, and that's generating site traffic. What I am going to also mention is that even if this email promo that I just sent out, a newsletter to my entire list, doesn't convert today, I've piqued interest enough by driving that click. I've gotten somebody to go to site, and now it's up to the rest of my automations to do their job in the process. Let's let that abandoned cart finish that conversion. Let's get that browse abandonment triggered to a user that can personalize the email a little more and hopefully get them to cross the path and become a converted buyer.
Amazing, John. I have nothing to add here. Great answer. You dive into quite a bit what's important and what sometimes seem like it's important, but looking just at like one part of the entire spectrum is always not enough. John, thank you so much for joining us today. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you. You're literally a bank of knowledge when it comes to retention marketing, and we hope to have you here again soon.
Thanks for having me, Francesco.